Hello, my name is George Washington. I was the first president of the United States. I was also a general in the American Army during the Revolutionary War.
Hi, I'm Tony.
We will be your hosts for this history project.
The roots of the revolution can be traced back to the French and Indian War. The war was between the French and the British, who were bitter rivals.
The war was mainly over land control. The British had trouble winning against their opponents at first. Their fighting methods were unfit for battle in the woods.
However, they eventually overcame their opponents and won. The win gave them the control they wanted, but it hurt British connections with the colonists.
The British methods of battle were laughable to the Americans. They were also mad that they had to pay taxes to support the troops. They lost respect for their home country. The British were also angry because the Americans did not help enough with the war effort.
Due to a group of Indian attacks known as Pontiac's Rebellion, the British passed the Proclamation of 1763. This closed the region west of the Appalachians to settlement. The Americans ignored the law and continued to settle. This was one of the first cases of Americans ignoring British authority.
The British passed laws like the Sugar Act, the Quartering Act, and the Stamp Act that did things like place taxes on products and force colonists to house troops. This invoked the meeting of the Stamp Act Congress.
The Stamp Act Congress met to send petitions to the King and Parliament. One colonist, whose name was James Otis, argued against taxation without representation.
Not only the Stamp Act Congress tried to get things done about British actions. The Sons and Daughters of Liberty urged the boycott of British goods. They eventually got Parliament to repeal the Stamp Act. To prevent further actions like these, the British Parliament passed the Declaratory Act.
The Declaratory Act made it so the Parliament could pass any law involving the colonists that it wanted.
It was soon obvious that the British were going to ignore the colonists' pleas when they passed the Townshend Act. This was another case of taxation without representation.
Another major event leading to the Revolution was the Boston Massacre. This event occurred when British troops were pelted with snowballs and insulted by colonists. In the chaos, the troops shot at the Americans. 5 colonists were killed.
Only 2 of 9 British soldiers were convicted for their crimes. This event then led the repeal of the Townshend Act. For your entertainment, here is a short reenactment.
We've got the right to choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it. This is our life. This is our song.
The Boston Massacre made colonists believe that their own country no longer cared about them. The troops' actions were terrible to the Americans.
Another very important event was the Boston Tea Party. It involved colonists dressing up as Native Americans and dumping shipments of tea into the Boston harbor. Their actions were invoked by the passing of the Tea Act, which allowed the British to sell its tea without normal taxes.
Because of their actions, Parliament passed the Intolerable Acts. These acts put restrictions on things like town meetings and colonial land claims. The colonists were incredibly angry.
Then, in order to sort out problems, the First Continental Congress met. The Congress met in Carpenter's Hall in order to form colonial militias, renew British boycotts, and send grievances to the king. War was upon them.
Soon after the meeting, the battles of Lexington and Concord were waged. These, as well as the signing of the Declaration of Independence, fueled a war that would last until the Americans eventually overcame. The revolution would be successful, and the groundwork for this country would soon be laid.